On the topic of Kyle, I mean, him running his rookie test at Indy and passing with flying colors. I mean, what does that do really for the sport and motorsports in general?
The guy's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In 1 week, he won a sprint car championship of a 11-race series.
Yeah.
He passed his rookie orientation at Indianapolis going 218 miles an hour.
Faster.
And then he goes and locks himself into the final 4 of the Cup Series. Like, if you
I wonder if he gambled.
like,
I
don't know what
did he win that?
do.
I don't know if you want to. If you're winning everything else.
I mean,
that well.
it was like what he's accomplished in this era, generation, whatever you want to call it, is unbelievable. Honestly,
He needs to be a little careful though, because I could see him. He started fading off of us a little bit. He was a little faster the first 10 laps, 15 laps, and then he wasn't quite as quick as that part of the race. But I could see him overdriving it. Like, he got loose a couple times before, and they're just like, you got to finish that race. If you wreck right there, like if say he spins all the way out, hits the inside wall, he's probably done
and out of the playoffs.
So like, when he's driving on that razor edge, like he probably doesn't need to be at that point.
I'd like to know what Cliff Daniels was really thinking, right? Not what he put on the radio when he's so calm, cool, and collected when he's talking to him. We see your car, it looks fine, no big deal, and all this. But he had to be sitting in that moment thinking, oh, we about just threw this whole thing away right now.
It's
yikes.
not worth it at that point in time.
I think one thing that I wanted to ask you guys about that I heard out of them guys yesterday, which was, we saw this with Logano last year, wins Vegas, goes out and wins Phoenix. They come out and say, we're not going to just solely focus on Phoenix. We're gonna
have a shot. It'll clear you up. You'll talk better.
we're gonna. We're still wanting to go to Martinsville and Homestead and kick everybody's ass. If you guys were in this situation, would you make a lap or run a simulation for anywhere besides Phoenix coming up?
I mean, I think you have to go back to one thing also that we were talking about 2 seconds ago before I answer that. In terms of Kyle Larson and what he's doing, right, across all different series, all types of car, there's times where I don't think he gets enough credit. And I know he gets a ton of credit for it, but to look at when he hops in something he's never been in, how good he goes, whether it was when he did the dirt late model stuff, which is completely different than anything else on dirt that he's been driving up until that point. And he wins, 3 races in or 2 races in against all the best in the world at that. I have made the argument for quite some time now. I feel like Kyle Larson is the best in the world. I don't think he's just the best runner. I think he's the best in the world.
We've said that on here a couple times.
And I would love to live in a world where we could put that to the test, right? Go get a F1 guy. Go get somebody that, the V8 supercar guys and find a way. And I know that there's a race of champions that exists and it kind of can try and figure that out. But his capability and anything, and I say this after being on the racetrack with him, right? And seeing when he was younger and as he's evolved and as he's grown, he's something special. Like, we're seeing something that is generational and compared whoever you want to compare it to, maybe AJ Foyt or whatever the best comparison is. I don't know what it is, but it is something that definitely needs to get appreciated.
And to your point, not only that, like, not only does he just is unbelievable, phenomenal, terrific, marvelous on the racetrack, what he does off the racetrack is just as special. He goes to these dirt races and stands there with hundreds of people behind his trailer and signs autographs all night. What him and Brad are doing for the purses in the sprint car series is unbelievable. I think I seen the other day where they ran, I think it was 11 of those races, and they paid out over $1 million in purse money. So, it's stuff like that off the track. I'm sure you know him. You go, he's easy guy to sit down and have a drink with and bull about racing. Like, it's just everything he does right now on the track and then even off the track, just promoting the sport and trying to make everything better. You seen him last year sit out the Chili Bowl because they didn't pay enough money, and guess what happens this year? They double the purse, or they double the winner's purse anyway. So things he does is helping, and it not only helping himself, he's trying to help grow the sport in general.
Right.
But to back to that, so obviously we seen Logano last year talk. They talked about we won Vegas and then went straight to work on Phoenix. He goes to Phoenix, and him and Blaney were the 2 best cars there that day. I don't know. Obviously you're going to go out there and race, and there's ways you might want to affect the guys that win races that you have to race at Phoenix. But if I'm these guys, I'm going to the simulator, and I'm having my engineers run every sim possible, known to man, to get my stuff as good as it possibly could be when we get to Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, you can go, TJ.
Yeah, they're going to work on that Phoenix car they're going to be already working on it now, but I don't think these next 2 races are just, throwaways. I still think, obviously they're going to prepare for them, but I don't know if they will. He just won't have the urgency. You know what I mean? These next 2 races, he's going to go out and race, and if it works out good,
but out of Homestead, where he's typically really good.
Kyle Larson's 7 out of 10 at Homestead is better than most people's 10 out of 10. Yeah. So that's all he's got to do.
Him and Reddick will be probably the 2 best at running the wall this week. I think. Truex is good.
Bell will be good again.
Bell's all right. He doesn't run the wall as good as some of the dirt guys do, like where you'd expect him to, because that seems like the correlation there.
He was doing it yesterday.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see. And honestly, Kyle, now it's almost like it's more dangerous for us at Homestead because he doesn't care. Right. Like, he can just rip the fence now. He might kill us this week just because he doesn't have to worry about stepping over the line.
I think that there's a reason why the past 2 champions have been the guys that win the first round or first race of the round of 8, right? And say what you want to say, but you're stacking so finite amount of items on this new car that if you have those 2 extra weeks to just really dive into it, maybe it's even running extra simulation laps, right? Like when we're talking millions of laps in simulation that these guys are running on this stuff, if you can run 2 million laps compared to somebody else that runs 1 million laps, you're getting more dialed in, more perfected on them, every little aspect. And it may be something as simple as, just a thousandth of an inch that matters. But if you do a thousandth of an inch on 10 different spots, okay, well, that starts to add up. So I think that gives them an advantage. I do think you still want to go and run good in these next 2. If you don't, it really doesn't matter because you already know what the prize is, right? And to think that they're not going to go to Homestead and run good, that's crazy. He's going to be fast there, right? He won Martinsville earlier this year, so he's probably going to be fast there again also. The one thing that I think could be interesting is, let's say he's in position at let's just say Martinsville, right? And he's got the lead, and somebody could point their way in. Like, I don't know if you ever get this far out in front of your skis to think about this, but if somebody could point their way in that maybe he doesn't want in, and somebody's behind him that he does want in that's not as good at Phoenix, and you think, well, if I just slip up in this corner, they win this race, they're going to battle in Phoenix, and they might not. Otherwise, you can still dictate a few things as you see fit for your team when it gets to that championship race, because at the end of the day, 2 more wins are great, right? But there's only one that really matters.
Yeah, for sure. And, we've said it on here before, Vegas is, in my opinion, the 3rd most important race of the season.
Yeah.
You've got Daytona, you've got Phoenix, and then this is this race here. You can talk all you want about the crown jewels. The crown jewels don't get you championships, and this race and Phoenix are the 2 races that we've seen, like you said, the last 2 years. This is what dictates who wins the championship, or at least who races for it. So, it's interesting to see. And I'll tell you what, we were looking at the points. I don't know if Andrew has it in here, but pretty crowded with the JGR crowd at the cut line. How do you think those? I think it's like, I'm pretty sure Martin and Denny are tied, and Bell's 2 back. Is that right?
Denny's 4 up,
He's
Martin's
3
3
back.
up, and Bell's 3 back.
Blaney's penalty changed.
Oh, okay.